Now, as ever, over the last few weeks, the situation between Kosovo and Serbia and Kosovo and the rest of the world has been rumbling on. And I've been watching closely along with Federica Woelk, who I speak to regularly on X, and I follow her posts and her support for Kosovo and the region. And now Federica is a European Parliamentary Assistant, a European policy and international affairs expert, and as I mentioned, a very strong advocate for Kosovo and the Western Balkans. She's been a guest once before on Inside Albania, so welcome again, Federica. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I wish we had more positive things to be discussing today, but it is what it is.
Yes, unluckily the situation is getting worse and worse. And to be honest, I really fear that these positive developments that are currently happening on a Bosnian level will not have the same influence in Kosovo.
Mm-hmm. And this is, you're referring to the signal that accession negotiations are going to progress with Bosnia and Herzegovina, whereas Kosovo has filed its application in December 2022, and we haven't had any progress, not even a whisper about any progress.
The problem is that they definitely link the progress on the EU path to the dialogue with Serbia, which to me does not make sense. Mm-hmm. It would make sense if it would be the same for Serbia, but we see that it's not really the same.
No. And actually, I want to kick off by talking about Peter Stano and some of his comments this week. I was horrified, actually. There was that photo that surfaced of the former Serbian ambassador to the US, who's likely to become the next prime minister of Serbia, sat having what appeared to be dinner with a wanted criminal who admitted to the terrorist attack in Kosovo in September. And Peter Stano's response to this was, well, it's not really my business who meets who in Serbia or who has dinner. And I just found this staggering from someone who lectures Kosovo on, you have to be more European, you're not being very European, you need to do better. And then to have this going on and him like, well, it's not really my business who has dinner with who. What were your thoughts on this statement from him?
Yeah. Exactly the same, plus also the fact that they continue to say there is not enough evidence for investigations on Banjska. First of all, it's not true. The Kosovo government has sent a complete report,
yes,
even more complete than other kind of reports, which really explains the role also the Serbian government played in this terrorist attack. And it's unbelievable that how many months after, 8-9 months after the attack, there is still no reaction, there is still no consequence, there is nothing at all.
I mean,
silence.
He repeats ad verbatim, we haven't had a final report, So I asked the Kosovo government, have you sent a final report? And this was unquotable, anonymously sort of quoted, but from a very official source. And they said, but we've submitted everything. We've submitted, the result of our investigations, evidence, what else do they want from us? And I asked Peter. I sent Peter an email. Now, normally he gets back to me. He can be quite short in his communication, but I asked him. And I said, the Kosovo government have said that they've submitted everything possible related to the attack. But you are saying you haven't had a final report. So I asked, have the Kosovo government provided the relevant EU institutions with documents, evidence, and what it refers to as proof of Serbia's involvement in the attack? If so, when was it received and what has been received? I then also asked for clarification. When you refer to an official final report, what format do you mean? I mean, is there a Word template that they have to sort of fill in? I mean, I don't know, be specific. I also asked him, what is missing from what you've been given so far, which means that you cannot consider that as a final report? He didn't reply. I sent 3 reminders. I also sent it to other people in his office who sometimes reply if he's on holiday or whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4 reminders. And nobody has replied to me at all. 0, which I find quite strange. You know, I would expect that. And I said in the email, you know, there's quite a lot of confusion about this whole final report idea. Maybe we can clear it up once and for all with you answering these questions.
It
Nothing.
doesn't surprise me, to be honest, that there was no response. But I assure you, I have seen the report that the Kosovo government has sent, and it's complete. It's full of information. There are pictures, there is concrete evidence. And the fact that within the EU, there has been only the resolution of the European Parliament in which Banjska has been explicitly mentioned. But after that, there has been nothing more about it. For me, it's outrageous. Exactly as well as to expect Kosovo to do 100% and always everything that the EU asks. But when Serbia needs to do something, oh yeah, we can close our eyes because, I mean, Serbia is not Russia, so it's not that bad. No, completely wrong. Also, Serbia is not Russia, okay, until now, but still we know that Serbia is quite close to Russia, and we know that the risk is present and that Serbia is actually endangering the stability of the whole region. So it's really dangerous what is happening at the moment.
But I just want you to repeat one thing. You have seen a final report from the Kosovo government that was sent to the European institutions.
I don't know if it was final, but I have seen a report which was with more than 50 pages, and it was really on the spot and with all relevant information inside of it.
So photographs.
Yes. So they cannot say they didn't receive anything at all because it's not true. I don't know what they expect as final because, I mean, everything was already clear from the first moment. So, I mean, it's high time that they actually read the reports they received.
I wanted to ask as well, we had the US envoy to the Western Balkans, Gabriel Escobar, in Kosovo this week. And he said that Kurti is having issues not just with the US, but with NATO and the EU as well. What's behind these comments? Why do they keep saying, you know, he's being difficult? I'm paraphrasing. He's not cooperating. He seems to be cooperating. The monastery decision yesterday, you know, there's elections going to be in the north now. What more do they want?
They cannot control him. They fear him because they cannot control him. He is not like Dodik or Vucic, where you can just like sign an economic agreement and then you know that this person will stay quiet for a few months and then he will start again eventually. And he's not like this. He is really able to push forward his agenda, which is mainly the protection of sovereignty of Kosovo, which in my opinion is the main point that Kosovo needs to push now. Because I think some people around did not understand that Kosovo is independent still. Yeah. And that this independence cannot be revoked or seen as a protectorate. It's an independent state, and it has all the rights to be sovereign.
I mean, we saw this with the dinar euro issue recently. The Kosovo Central Bank, which is an independent institution, enforced a regulation, which is already, you know, I mean, the euro's been used since, 2002. The constitution specifies one single currency from 2008. And then the central bank says, okay, we have to play by the rules now. This is what's going to happen. And people start telling the prime minister that he has to override this institution, the constitution, etc. It seems like there isn't this grasp that, you know, Kosovo is an independent country. It has a democratically elected government. It has institutions which function independently from that. There seems to be a big misunderstanding there with these demands. And from the US, it needs to be suspended. You need to... Can you imagine going to the US and saying, you know, you need to accept the peso everywhere, and if you don't, you're in big trouble?
Can you imagine in France, if it would be done in France? Like, I'm sorry, but I always think about if something like Banjska would have happened in France, would still be silent now? I don't think so. So there is always this double standards, and this is really annoying, not only for the people in Kosovo, but also for people like me who are really attached to the region and really care about the region. And I think that this is absolutely not okay. And regarding the dinner, the most common argument they use is like, oh, but the Kosovo Serbs did not have enough time.
But they've got 3 months now.
Like, first of all, they had 3 months. Second of all, there was information about it. It's not like they decided from yesterday until tomorrow. Like, there's always this twisting of the facts and twisting of the real situation. And for me, this is actually going against everything, also against the enlargement strategy they have here in Brussels, because it does not fit.
And I mean, do you, in your work with your colleagues, the people around you, do you get into some heated disagreements about this topic? Are you trying to really inform people what's going on here? Are you meeting resistance or lack of understanding from people around you?
They know, they don't know so much. Like, they know I'm crazy about the region. So each time there is a topic about it, we discuss it, but they really don't know enough in general. And I'm speaking also outside the parliament. I'm just speaking in general, also with friends and so on. And I think that this is it's necessary to really raise the voice. It's necessary. And this is why I really care about also bringing facts from Kosovo and from Bosnia, because also in Bosnia, it's not always clear how the situation really is on the ground. And I think it's really important to speak up.
Federica, thank you for your time, but also thank you for the strong voice that you have on these matters. And I'm waiting for you to come to Albania so you can come in person.
Thank you very much. I'm coming soon.
Good. We'll have coffee together and you can come on the show in person. Thank you again.